Hello everyone, I'm Manish and this is part 21. In this video, we will see the data source in SAP Business One. So for this, we'll see how many types of data source available in SAP Business One SDK and how we can use it, and we'll see which data source are suitable with which SAP B1 UI control with example, and in last we'll see the differences between the matrix and the grid object of UI part with data source. So let's start. So there are three types of data source available in SAP Business One, namely DB data source, user data source, and data table. So let's discuss one by one. The first one is DB data source. So it represents a SAP Business One database table that can be further attached to a form to manipulate the form. So with the help of this DB data source object, you can set the value into the form control, or you can get the value from the form controls with the help of DB data source. So basically, there is some restrictions also while using DB data source with system forms. Let me discuss that restrictions so that you can understand. These two restrictions are with system form. You cannot perform a query on the data source or change its offset. So when you are using DB data source with system forms, you cannot perform any query, or you can not also set its offset. So in second point, what you need to keep in mind while using DB data source with the system forms, you can only attach items to user defined fields in the data source. It means you cannot set any value to the system table fields with the help of DB data source. So these two restrictions you need to keep in mind while using DB data source with the system forms, and in case of user defined forms you can use. Let's see the example here. I have created a form object here and then declared two DB data source, DB header data source variable, DB line data source variable, and then created a form object here. You can see form object is here, and with the help of form object and their properties like data source, then DB data source dot item method, it takes the table name here. So I am using here passing the user table here. You can also pass the system table if you are working with the system table, but I'm working with user defined table, so I'm using it. So I have created the two DB data source object, one for header table and second one is for line table. So now move to the second point. So we have a public method of DB data source like clear, get as XML, get value, insert record, load from XML, query, remove record, set value. And the properties are public properties, fields, offset, size, and table name. So most of these properties I have used in my previous video for on matrix. But even though if you have any problems while using any methods or any properties of this data source, you can text me or you can put a comment. I will try to share a new video on these. So now move to the next point, next slide. This is user data source. Here you can see it is a container for item data that is not stored in the database. It means you can use user data source when you don't want to store that data inside the database. For example, if you have two fields on the form and you don't want to store that field value inside the table, you can bind that field with the user data source. So let's see the example here. The first example, we are creating a user data source object through code. So with the help of form object, we are creating the user data source. So I have declare a form variable here. In second statement, I have declared two user data source, namely form date, and the second one is to date. And in third statement, I have created a form object, and in fourth statement, we have created a first from date user data source object with the help of form object dot data source dot user data source dot add method, which takes two parameter here. The first one is from date, which is unique ID of your user data source, and the second one is the data type would be of your user data source. So I am using here bo data type enum, which basically list out the data type available. So we have selected as in date here. In fifth statement, we have also created another user data source, namely to date. This is the first way you can create the object of the user data source, and you can also create these object with the help of XML or SRF file. I mean your form SRF file or form XML file. So there is for user data source in XML, there is a tag here. You can see user data source. Inside that you will use the action tag and will set type property as an add, and then you will use another tag data source. The first attribute is size, which defines the size of your user data source, and the second attribute defines the data type basically. So we have taken here 10, which is the value of dt underscore date enum. Here you can see. So similarly you can take here 8 as an short string, 9 as an long string. Here the third attribute is unique ID of your user data source. The first one is from date and the second one is to date. So in this way you can create the user data source object inside your code or inside your SRF file or XML file. Further, we will use these object for setting the value inside the form fields or getting the value from the form fields. Till now we have created the object. So let's move to the next slide. So in next slide you can see the user data source public methods, data type, length, unique ID, value, and value ex. So basically here the most important property is value or value ex. So with the help of value ex you can set value into the field and you can get value from the field of the SAP Business One form. So now let me move to the next slide. The last and most important is data table here. Basically it represents a data in matrix form. It means the data table data source contains the data in terms of rows and columns. So it is better to use with a matrix or grid object because the structure is similar with a matrix or grid object of SAP Business One UI part. So this is the tree structure you can see. And now come to the example here. Sorry. Here we have created a OData table variable in first statement, and in second statement we have created a data table object, and in third statement with the help of data table dot execute query method of the data table we are executing this SQL statement, and the result will store into the data table. So here is two column, that's why in data table, two column will create. One is for doc name num and the second one is for card code. So in this way we have created the object. Further we will see you can bind this data table either with the matrix or with the grid. So further in code we will see how to bind the data table with the grid. So these are the public methods and public properties of the data table. The first one is clear. With the help of this method you can clear the data table and copy from. With the help of this you can copy the data as well as structure of the data table into the another data table. Third one is execute query. We have already seen in previous slide. With the help of this method you can execute the SQL statement and result will store into the data table. Let me mark it out. And in fourth method, get as XML, return an XML string representation of the object. So you can extract you can get a string value in form of XML with the of the data table. In fifth, get schema returns the schema for the XML that is written by the serialize as XML method. So in sixth you can see get value returns the value of a cell in the data table by passing the column ID and their row index. Load from XML loads the object from an XML string. Load serialized XML, you can load data or metadata from an XML string. That these methods are not important so much. And similarly you can see 9 serialize as XML. And last one is important, set value. With the help of this method you can set the value into the appropriate cell with the help of column ID and the row number. And these four properties are here you can use to perform any operations like checking is the data table is empty or not, what is the column index number, what is the row index number, and what is the unique ID of the data table. So in this way we have completed this. We will move to the code part and we'll see how we are taking an example of the form where we will bind user data source with the SAP Business One form fields, and also we will bind data table with the grid object. So inside the code we have created a new form with the name of OpenSO report.srf. Let me show you in the screen. So you can see I have designed this form. Here I have taken two fields, one for from date and second one for to date, and one grid over the form and two button. So we'll see to bind user data source with these two fields as in date, one for from date and another one for to date. And while using grid we will bind the data table data into this grid. So now come to the code. Let me explain what I have did. So in menu event I have given a condition here. With the help of this I'm checking is this the menu ID which is I'm going to process. If it is, then we are loading the form and then creating the form object here. And here I have already shared inside the PPT where you have seen I have created two user defined a user data source, namely from date and to date here. And further I have created edit text object from the screen, and we are here binding the edit text box with the from date user data source. You can see here with the help of set bound function. Similarly we are doing this for edit text box 2. We have created object for edit text box text 2, and here we are binding the data source which is user data source with the name toDate with the help of set bound function. And in next statement we are creating a data table object here and grid object here. So in menu click event you can see I have done these code and open the come to the form. So you can see this icon is just because we have bound this field with a user data source that name is from date. That's why this icon is coming here. If you will not bind, nothing will come like this. So due to binding the field with a data source which name is from date of type date, that's why this calendar is looking here. Similarly you can see here is also looking this calendar because we have bind this field with user data source toDate. So you have seen this. Now come to the code and come to the second step, what we are doing to visualize the data. Basically I have created this form to show the open sales order inside this grid. Once I will give the date parameter here, so all the open sales order which lie between from date and toDate will come or will visualize in this grid after pressing one OK. So come to second step, what I have did in item press event. Let me come to that event. You can see here item press after event. Here I have checked is this the form ID which I'm going to process. If it is, then I'm checking is this the OK button, because but OK button ID is this one btn OK. So once it is confirmed, we are getting user data source value with the help of value ex property, as I have explained you inside the slide. So we have taken these two data source value inside these two variables and we have passed inside this query as a parameter. You can see doc date greater than equals to start date and doc date less than equals to end date. So on the basis of this condition, data will filter and with the help of execute query, the SQL statement will execute and the result data will set to the data table. And here what we are doing, we are binding this data table with the grid object. You can see with the help of OData form, you can directly write down also OData because we have already created an object. So you can do like this or you can adopt the first option. So let me run this code and we'll see on the screen is this working or not. I don't connect it successfully. Let me put date here 05 till date and press OK button. So you can see the data which lies between these two rows is visualizing in the grid. Hence let me tell you the differences between the grid and the matrix, when to use grid and when to use matrix. So whenever you want to store your data into the database, so the best option is to use DB data source. And whenever you want to only visualize your data source, data, then the grid is the better option to visualize your data. And with data source, so in this case you can use data table data source because the schema of data table is just like a matrix or grid. So this is the best option to visualize data into the grid by using the data table data source. And whenever you want to bind your user data source, so it is best option when you don't want to save data into the database and but your structure is not looking like a matrix or grid. So in that case a specific field can be bind with by using the user data source. So I hope you may understand the use of three data source. First is DB data source, second one is user data source, and third one is data table. So in this video, in this coding part, I didn't show you the DB data source. Let me uh, come to the code. Although I have discussed DB data source in my another previous video for on which was on matrix object, so you can see that video. But even though, let me show you in brief where I have used. So you can see here DB line data source here and DB header data source here. Set value, you can also get value from the matrix by the use of DB data source. So thanks for watching, and let me ask, if you have any queries regarding this particular video, related to any methods, related to any properties, you can comment me so that I can share a better solution on that. Thank you.